yeah,
We need to tuck in because I already know. I already know we have
Sense
to.
it.
Yeah, we have to be so close. And that's the nature of being on keyboard and mouse. Sorry, not to interrupt this delicious lunch chat.
That's okay.
I had a coffee, not to brag.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Oh, very delicious. Let's get this up here. It's so low. Screen. Sound settings as well. Why? Oh, love doing back-end stuff. Oh, but perfectly timed almost. Yeah, we've still got a little bit of the trailer to go. Oh, sorry, another game. Alright, perfect. Never made a mistake in my life. Hey everyone, how are we doing? How are we going? I wonder where the game is in the background. Oh, my days. Oh, perfect. Well, hello. I'm going to look into that real quick. My name is Alex Chiliso. I am the social and community manager here for Age of Darkness, and I am here with two of our devs. We have Lewis, who's been here before, QA, who we're going to be playing some campaign today, and made the prompts that Lewis has probably played more of this level than anyone.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
And then we'll go into that more. And we're also here with Chris, who is senior audio designer
Yep.
here at Playside. And yeah, we're going to... Oh, there we go. Now we can see it.
Cool.
Perfect. Primo Divino. And we're going to get more into what they do exactly. But I think let's start to crank open the campaign. So this is our continuation of our campaign playthrough. Dear Amza and... You on that one as well, Lewis? No, you're on the multiplayer.
On the multiplayer stream.
Oh, someone else was here for it. And we're jumping into Act 2. Things are starting to cook. And yeah, we're going to be continuing playing this campaign. And we have two people that worked pretty intimately on the campaign in very different capacities. And they're going to have a lot of incredibly good insights and everything. Before we do jump in, Chris.
Yes.
I asked before, I was like, Chris, what did you do exactly? And then, oh, it was like a laundry list that went on for 45 minutes. It was like absolutely everything. Do you want to give a little bit of a summary of the main things that you did? And then, you know, we were going to point out a lot of the cool inside goss and inside knowledge you have when it comes to the things you're about to explain.
All right, so the TLDR of the laundry list is a little bit of everything on this game. So when I first jumped into this project and it first kicked off a few years ago, I was involved in a lot more of the direct, like, creating of sound design assets, creating of test content, testing bits and pieces, and then as the project scaled up and so did the team, my role was more to do with kind of maintaining the overall creative. So that was just making sure that if we got a new unit, then what's the new unit sound like? And then what's the sort of vibe, what's the character, how do we make that work? And then everything beyond that was like, we were all very involved in VO, so casting. I was doing performance direction during sessions when we were recording people, and then went through take selection, put in the game in some aspects, and then music. I worked with the composer. I actually did all the music for all of the cinematics. Was taking Camille's stuff,
Wow.
and rearranged those. So he did the big, like the epic, super cool start of the game, end of the game cutscenes and whatnot, but the minute you hit start mission, the first things that happen, that's this guy. So
Perfect. Well,
involved in lots of it.
what an absolute honor. And let's turn this up a little bit. This is just for us so we can hear it better. But when we do press start mission, Lewis, I want to make sure we can just sit and listen.
Now the pressure will be to make sure all of it sounds fantastic the minute we're all paying close attention to it.
Locked in. Yeah, but that's cool. Super exciting to have you here because we've talked to game designers, we've talked to QA and engineers and artists. Like the audio in this game is incredible, and there's so many like really different cool elements, whether it's like units or the voice acting. I mean, I think multiple people got nominated and a couple of people won, or one person won an award. The Vizago voice actor won an award for this game.
Yeah.
So the voice acting is incredible, and here we go. Good crackle for the...
Oh man,
So cool.
I'd totally forgotten until that little line. The Harbinger session for recording. So much fun. Oh my god. So much fun.
Calm yourself, boy. We're here to put an end to the veil.
Do as you will then. We're done for.
Bit pessimistic, I think.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
There's some optimism.
There's a whole thing though, like, so why the Harbinger is so cool compared to some of the others is throughout a lot of the game, clearly, like you are battling screechy little critters and well, critters of some variety, right? They don't really talk back to you, but the Harbinger is one of the kind of crossover points to that power. It's I'm pretty sure the only person other than maybe Vizago at that point that has really quite like monstrous capacities in their voice. And I love that because with voice actors, Adrian, hello. One of my favorite things to do with voice actors is when they're experimenting with the delivery, and that's not so much just the way that they can like pitch their voice, it's the physical positioning. So I'll get closer to the camera so you can see, but like people would be like, you'd be talking out the side of your mouth like this, and so getting that Harbinger sound is a mixture of voice actor using that gravel in the back of their throat, but then like displacing the tongue, displacing the jaw, displacing the lips, so everything sounds less human at every stage of the performance. It's fun.
Wow, that's so sick. Yeah, that's incredible. Who do you think, which character do you think the person embodied the most? Like, of the voice actors, when they were like doing it for the characters, like, was Aelys going ballistic? Like, who was Cyrus coming in with a limp? Like, who is really like doing that full body performance to match?
So Aelys was fantastic. Oh, look, there's a couple of them that were just like.
Who was the worst? Let's start there.
The worst? No.
Blame.
No, but like the ones who like very clearly embodied it the most, I found was Crystal, who did Aurelia. She, especially in some of the more like emotionally charged moments, like hear a pin drop in the room and tears with everybody else dialing in over Zoom, because we recorded everything other than Edwin pretty much over Zoom.
Damn.
Or with remote recordings and then Zoom dialing in to do performance coaching. So there's Crystal for Aurelia. There was Rhiannon for Aelys. Now she was less of like full body embodiment, but her face encapsulated it beautifully in stern like badassery. And then Peter Wicks for Vizago, he was like phenomenal to watch because there was very much the whole body. Like for him, for that question rather, he's the pinnacle for that, and he's also the one that got nominated for the I think it's Vsauce Awards from memory.
And won.
Not for that particular one.
Oh, okay.
So,
one other awards, multiple award nominee.
Yeah. But there's a few people that were there's some incredible.
Make sure
talent
you
on this
tuck in.
Yes, there's some incredible talent on
Right, Lewis and I can
on this cast, and it was really nice to see a few of these people get nominated for their efforts for sure.
Yeah, it must be interesting, like, hearing people's, like, voice actors. When you said, like, Adrian before, referencing the Rebellion soldier.
Yep.
It must feel a bit surreal, like, having conversations with people and talking to people and then hearing their voices in the game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, look, one of the things that I think is the most unusual, and I found this even when working in film before I joined PlaySide.
Oh my god, the backstory, the lore's coming out. Check out the IMDb.
The villain backstory, but like
the villain backstory. Yeah. Oh my days!
But I found that that with people and with characters that you would interact with before you ever actually met them in person. So I obviously had recorded Aelys. This is all happening throughout lockdown for the most part, and so recorded Aelys, and she was based in the UK. She is based in the UK. But she's also Australian, and so she came out to visit some family, and then a couple of years ago she came to PAX as well. So I got to meet her for the first time after having worked with her on this thing. And again, it's that same thing where I'd met Edwin Guy a few times kind of throughout the course of it. So Guy equals Edwin, and like that's fine. Whereas meeting Aelys for the first time was like, I cannot separate you from this character. This is who you are.
Wow.
What do you mean you have other characters?
Yeah.
What do you mean you have other things that you do? And it's always been the same when working in film too. Like, you will get a bit of footage, you'll work on a piece, you'll do the dialogue or the music or the whatever, and then you'll get like emotionally attached to these people and these characters, and then you meet them for the first time and they have no idea who you are. It's just like, it's an entirely one-sided exchange, and it's very much that of just being like, okay, I really need to separate this. And Peter Wicks will never be anything other than Vizago for me. He's done lots of other cool work.
Quickly, So we've got different routes that we can take in the campaign.
We
'cause
do.
We'll continue this, but we should talk a little bit about the
Please,
general
please,
plot
please.
of
I'm
this
just
campaign.
yapping.
Lewis
Yeah,
is just
I'm
like
just
autopiloting his Laundry through.
Another playthrough.
Yeah, min-maxing. He's actually
Yeah.
asked if he could put the speedrun stats on the side. He's like, yeah, I'm going for a
That's
PB.
me. That's me.
Do you want to explain a little bit of the general plot that we're going through right now, Lewis, for this
Yeah.
mission?
Yeah, so pretty much we gotta find where the nightmares are coming from, which this is like one of the parts, one of many parts, I guess. It's the order path, so you can go this way, and I guess you can have a choice of 3 to choose from. You can help the rebellion, or you can help, I guess, the Aldrin units, or you can just like say, hey guys, just chill, and they all chill. But both options gives you like bonus like units, which is pretty cool, because yeah, the mission's quite a bit tougher towards some of the like later points. So yeah, there's like 2 parts. Is the rebellion side, which I don't think we'll probably get to today, but definitely go through that because that's pretty fun. There's some cool little extra, like, I guess, objectives and cutscenes that we threw in there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so we're just pushing through to the Order outpost, and yeah, see what we, I guess, find.
Yeah, also that was cool. So it was like very subtle thing. I think this is the first time in the campaign where we saw what was like a little bit of a blood crystal spawn from survival. Maybe there's a different point, but it's like right on the screen, so you can see the location. Me pointing at the screen, like people can see where I'm pointing. But like that little spot, I mean, it's cool. We talked about with Mario and Amza that like there's good integration with the campaign coming secondary to survival. There's a lot of mechanics of like, oh, how can we introduce survival mechanics into the campaign, and we can start to like weave that in. So this is when nightmares are really starting to pop off. Well, I guess like in mission 3,
Yeah,
they're kind
post-mission
of
3.
post mission 3, but we're starting to see this a lot more at the forefront. And
Definitely.
it's cool like seeing things like that where it's like it's not quite a blood crystal spawn, but it was like a mini version of that. And you're starting to see that integration, as well as like as you talked about, like there's not a lot of dialogue in the nightmares. So when you're doing like survival, it's just the heroes, and it's like, okay, we get that interaction with the sort of humans who speak, and the nightmares who don't, and seeing that blend together in this chapter, no, not chapter, in this mission, I think is really, really cool, and something we're going to start to see a lot more of, as well as the introduction of the rebellion. I mean, so this is the first time we see the rebellion at all.
Yes, up to this point, yeah.
Yeah, up to this point.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a bit, Lewis, about like the rebellion's role, a little bit of the narrative elements of the rebellion? Chris, and if you
Go for it, please. Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
because we're going to talk through a bit of their introduction. So we haven't fully met them,
Yeah,
but we're
we've-
starting to.
Yeah, we've like met the Iron Talon, which is like another crazy faction that we have going on. But the Rebellion, they're a little bit of like a build-up faction that is probably trying to rebel against the Order Alduran forces and trying to take, I guess, their share of like the world to a degree. So yeah,
Yeah.
they're pretty like, I guess, under the pump in this mission.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, they definitely build up throughout, I guess, probably later on in the campaign, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, a big presence there. There's a whole aspect of like the background lore within this that we're seeing is like the combat that you stumble across in this mission is usually, it's either nightmares, clearly,
Yep.
or you're seeing the people in red or the people in yellow, and so the Rebellion and the Alduran really don't like each other very much.
Yep.
And we've seen in sort of the lore, the Rebellion is that classic scenario of kind of the mistreated underclass, and anything that is the Iron
These
Talon-
guys in cages are a mistreated underclass?
Yeah, imagine
I'm not
that,
seeing it. I'm not picking up.
Yeah. And then the really snooty sounding people wearing all gold. Yeah, for sure. But you've got all of those sort of things, and so it just means there's this notion of depth to the world that I really enjoy, because you have this troubled underclass that is also being tormented by the Iron Talon, or it's villages that are being pushed to, there's no other choice but to band together to try and push for something that is for their survival or for better for their kin. And then you have the Alduran who are much more technologically advanced and wealthy and better off who want to maintain the status quo. And then you got the Order in the middle of all that, who the rebellion doesn't like the Order because they see them as Alderaan lapdogs, basically. The general thing is that it feels like the Order is a little bit limp in its ability to exert power and help. So Order just gets a little bit pummeled from both sides, sadly.
Yeah, no, very cool. How much, you talked a bit about before when you were like working on narrative elements. How much did you like work on that sort of lore and backgrounds, and like how much, what was your sort of involvement in that?
Sure. So most of the time with the narrative development, it was usually less of me being directly involved in like the grand scheme of things, but it was more about we need to have a conversation to do with this key element. How can we make sure that comes through? How is that best portrayed?
Oh, sick.
Either in the mission itself or in the person we might cast for this, or the application of it. So like how you can try and make things still feel cohesive and consistent with the intended lore is always going to be really important, because it needs to be kind of there in every facet of it, rather than only when you read the wiki lore page or whatever it might be.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, I think that's really cool. I mean, I think this game does a good job of also like being pretty sparse with words. Like the cutscenes, they're not super long. They're pretty like short.
It's very direct.
Yeah, and it's like you'll have like lines like that where it's like a 1 or 2 sentence line here that kind of like add to the lore, add to the characterization of the characters, but also like the factions themselves and sort of their ideologies and things. I mean, and also like I think the artists have done an incredible job of, it's like, as you can see, like the rebellion, okay, they're red, they're kind of wearing sort of raggy-esque armor, like it's a bit more run down. The Alderaan troops, they've got gold, like, and I think there's a lot of things coalescing to make it visually quite clear. And, you know, there are shorthands that have twists on them. But I think Edge of Darkness consistently is like, this is a concept you understand. We're not like reinventing the wheel, but like here's an iteration of it that's interesting and different, and a combination that's maybe not not really been done before.
Yeah, I agree. The way that the visual language has been established in this from the get-go is part of what we needed to make sure we were keeping consistent in our character development. So when we were casting units, when we're casting characters to play as units, one of the considerations for this is like, what sort of characterisms and personality should these people have? And how is that coming across in the lines they say, but also the type of delivery, but also the type of voice? And so what we did very early on was we set up like a line, and on that kind of that plane would be different sort of descriptors and emotions, and making sure that when we're casting people, that you could be like, well, does somebody align with, it's kind of like when you say this person needs to be chaotic good versus lawful evil versus whatever, right? A similar sort of perspective of that, and making sure that when we were creating characters and when we were casting them, that they weren't going to be this like just amorphous blob of all the same. There was a very early stage where pretty much all the characters you pressed were just sassy and grumpy with you. And we had to make sure that wasn't going to be the case across the entire landscape. So yeah, lots of different things that happen within this.
Well, I have a question about Aurelia on that note. We see right here we've got good Aurelia. She's, well, good Aurelia. You know, she's with the Order, and, you know, spoilers, she's going to have a bit of a turn to the Volatists. I assume she probably has the greatest range of, like, you know, her voice, because it's very, like, sweet and kind of, you know, has a little bit of, like, not antagonism, but, like, she's got some bite to her even in the Order, but she's, you know, more of a support character, and she's, like, before the turn. And the Volatist, she's quite, you know, harsh, and she's an aggressor in a lot of ways. And how did that, like, how do you go about casting on that plane of sort of emotions when a character is going to have like a divide and a split and become more dichotomous? Like, did you have two planes, or what was the thinking there?
Pretty much, yeah. So
I nailed it.
Yeah. So the notion of
that's all right, Chris. You're
in it already. So instead of it being, it wasn't so much about it being like two planes, but it would more be about like what. Like you said, what's the range that we need to play within? And then you'd be looking at, well, what's the point of crossover against other characters? Like, how would you compare Aurelia Green Aurelia versus Blue Aurelia, for instance, how would you compare the two of those against other heroes, against Alis, for instance, or other units within the game? How can they still make sure they have a place and an identity that feels complementary to everybody else, but also allows them enough range of motion as a character so that their arc can be actually successfully followed through? And I mean, it's the same problem with Vizago. When we were looking for somebody to cast for either of these roles, the considerations would be like, okay, there is kind of 2 stages, and we need an element of a flip in there. Here is our character references and our test lines for the early version of Aurelia, and then here's the versions later. And then same with Vizago. Here's what we need him to be in his we wanted him to be a charming, suave cult leader figure first and foremost, but we needed to be the version of that could then like cut you in half in the blink of an eye and not even think about it, like the hyper-violent, hyper-threatening version of that charm, but needs to be able to ramp up and roar. And it was the same sort of approach with Aurelia, just from a different starting point.
Yeah, that's fascinating. No, I that's like, it makes me think of when they cast Alfie Allen in Game of Thrones. So Alfie starts as, I can't remember, Theon Greyjoy, and he's like part of that Stark.
Yep.
And for their audition, they got him to play Reek, which is like a very different temperament, a very sort
Yes.
of like broken, tortured individual. And they were like, yeah, we need to see that you can do this endpoint character. So I just want to check something. I'm not sure if very bad for this stream, if this is true. It doesn't look like the actual game audio is firing, which is, oh my God, I dearly apologize, guys. What an absolute faux pas for me. So let me just check this. And I don't know why it wouldn't be. Maybe it is, but let's add an audio. In the meantime, get to look at this beautiful menu.
Oh, yes.
No, I don't want to do audio input capture. I want to do output capture.
Application capture?
No, it should be this one.
Now the nightmares have begun to return.
Sorry, it should be rocking and rolling. I just saw that. I swear I was doing it before, so I'm a little bit surprised if it's not. We can create new audio output capture. Default. I believe it's this one. I mean, thrilling stuff for me right now.
There you go.
Must do everything in our power to
Wait,
stem the
I
tide.
apologize. Well, I mean, but now this next hour is going to be absolutely hitting.
Just the best cutscene in
As
the
knights of the
there we
Order,
go.
our
Nailed it.
duty
let's just
includes
watch it
protecting
then.
the crystals. With our numbers so thinly stretched, though,
You mean this is the Order's fault?
from a certain perspective,
Yeah.
I suppose it is.
Derek was the animator behind this one.
I'm not
as well,
sure
and
we can do anything about
yes,
the
it's
crystal
very
now.
interesting requirements
We'll need to head back.
to be able to make
Back to
this
old man
out of
Hector?
something that feels cinematic and can demonstrate all
Bishop
the narrative
Hector.
aspects.
And yes,
with
only Order bishops have the power
stuff
to
that no
mend
one's most
damaged
combat game.
crystals.
What's swirling around inside
Yeah, we
these
actually
dark
have Derek.
crystals?
Derek's joining us
Dark
next
essence,
streams to talk about
volatile
some of these
byproduct
things.
of the crystals.
But yeah, one of the
wary
funny
of it.
things I was saying to Lewis.
Wary.
A lot of
Cool,
people,
don't treat me like an infant,
even
Edwin.
Lewis mentioned before, he's like, yeah, this mission can be a bit tricky.
There's something
As someone who's curated a lot of questions, I'm
kind
like
of
asking people, I'm like, so how good? Like, do you think you could easily play the level while like talking? And everyone's like,
just
but yeah, I think we're having Amza, one of the game designers, and Derek next week as well, which will be exciting.
Ready to
But yeah,
face
you're so
the
right. I mean, like having to bring in it's like elements that exist and have sort of mechanical purpose, and being like, these are narratively really important and have a lot of lore in the world.
Are
Let's
you
animate
okay?
them. Let's give them more, meaning, but also like let's do them in a slightly different way because they're not necessarily going to work or act the exact same in the campaign when there's like arcs and development and things like that.
Yep,
And it's really cool to see how those are brought in. Yeah, I mean, should we do a little update, Lewis, on what's happening in this mission?
Okay.
Aurelia touched the crystal. She doesn't feel too great.
Forward.
But she'll be fine though. Nothing ever happens to her, and it's all chill.
Yeah, for sure. It's not like she's
We
red
stand
around.
to fight.
But nah.
So let me also just quickly change something, Lewis.
Okay.
It's alright.
Take to the controls.
Yeah.
It's all good.
No, I just wanted to launch in at this point. I think it's my time. All right, you're back.
Okay.
I'll let you on pause.
We're back. Here we go. Round 2.
Hey, send me to
Protect
Oh
her
yeah,
from the
so we're just
nightmares.
protecting Aurelia because she's not feeling great. And yeah, we're just surviving against the
Tear
force
them apart.
because touching the crystal is not really a great idea.
Embers guide me.
Yeah, I understand.
Oh, yeah.
So you talked about harbingers before
Harbingers, yeah.
Harbingers. Jeez Louise. It's my first day speaking English, guys. I'm still learning and fresh to
Snap
it.
out of it, girl.
Do you have a personal
As you
favorite
command.
unit? Not hero, but personal favorite unit, maybe outside of them, where when you hear those voice lines, you're like, yeah, that's the one, baby.
Oh.
Aurelia.
Oh no, there's a few. I think there's a few that I really enjoyed. Harbinger is great, surely, like I said before.
We shall not
I really
waver.
enjoyed the Sentinel session with Richard. That was really fun. That was a very early one. So yeah, that bad boy.
Shout out the
there.
Sentinel, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
Lewis, this guy, get him on the keys and he knows exactly. Cinematographer over here.
That's it. That was really good because I think it was really just it's the characters that had a little bit more to them than sass and angst. Like I said, some of the very early ones were a bit sassy in being like just impatient. What do you want? Like very strong grump
Ready
ass
to face
player
the dark.
stuff, right?
Blood crystals.
Yeah.
Picking up blood crystals and
fun.
Aurelia's having a little bit of a
Well, you
moment.
gotta get some resources.
Not herself.
But yeah, Sentinel itself is great as a unit.
She dies.
Help me with Aurelia.
Get
We
some
must
down.
get her.
Okay. Well, we'll see who's correct on this.
Grab the
Could be either
device that's
person.
attached to the crystal.
Or maybe it's a tactical nap.
That's it. Oh, yeah. Corrupts. And yeah, that's the order side.
By the light!
Yeah.
We must retreat!
Pretty rough.
Haven't had a good time.
Oh, congratulations, Lewis. No
Yeah,
deaths.
yeah.
No
Yeah.
deaths.
Yeah, never a doubt.
How good.
It actually, unironically, was never in doubt. It wasn't even close.
But yeah, so
Completed all the objectives.
all objectives all done.
Well done.
There's the other options that you can choose.
Yeah.
And play. But yeah, it's pretty
Yeah, I
good.
like the replayability. God, my turn for the English. Replayability.
How embarrassing. I would never make such a mistake. Couldn't be me.
That I like that word of that particular mission, just because there's
Yeah.
so many ways you can go about it. It's great.
Definitely. And yeah, so we got mission 5,
Mm.
which is pretty cool.
Do you want to read out the description, Lewis?
Yeah, sure. So we got Nightfall, mission 5. A strange device has poisoned Aurelia and destabilized an aging dark crystal, which is pretty scary. Edwin's races against time to warn the locals and set up defenses before the land is overrun by nightmares. Ooh.
Bum, bum, bum.
What could that mean?
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
We're all learning for the first time ever. Should we jump on in?
I
Oh,
reckon-
before we do,
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
something you probably never had with this. One of my favorite things about this game, straight up, is this world map. You sort of
Oh, yeah. Let's
cycle in and out because it's
Absolutely gigantic.
yeah. Well, one of the things that we really wanted to bring to this is I had a dream at some point where I was like, I would love there to be 10 hours of Age of Darkness world map to relax to, you know, like that, just that sort of
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
online
yeah.
would be fantastic. And so that was such a big push for choosing the right music to go in here and balancing out all the ambience so that when you're zooming in and out, it's not just like hectic little wind sounds everywhere and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it's really pretty and it's pretty comprehensive here.
I love zooming into the water because you get the sea vibes. And I'm like, oh my god.
Yep. Yeah, yeah.
It's just so good.
Just leave the that's the whole
Yeah.
thing, right? If anybody's watching that haven't bought it, you should buy the game just so you can sit on this menu and have it open in the background while you do go about your day.
Don't
Would
even play it.
recommend.
Don't even
it.
touch it.
Yep.
Just for the
Turn it
vibes.
on the background.
10 hours of lo-fi Age of
Yeah,
Darkness.
Go to sleep.
Yeah. You get to the end of it and it's like, oh, this guy loves the game. He's got 50 hours played in the first week. He's just got it on in the background while he's working. Okay, cool.
I mean, I agree. I think definitely the world map was one of those things where I was like, wow, this is like way better than it needs to be. Like, it's like absurdly good. Like, I just thought it was going to be like, oh, like when I saw this, I was like, this is cool. And then when you can like zoom out and check it out and you see how big it is, but like how much detail there are in like pockets that like you're never going to focus on unless you go to them actively. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
wow. Shout out the art team. Shout out.
Yeah. I remember real spending a whole bunch of time on developing this, and then once it was available for us to play with, it made such a big difference.
That's cool.
Gives you a sense of the grand scale of everything, right? What's
Yeah.
at stake in the campaign?
100%. No, I think it's so cool. One question I do have, this is entirely different. Oh, sorry, just sort of pop up an OBS. No, everything is fine.
Prepare the prisoners for transport.
The cleanest stream yet.
Edwin, what the hell happened?
Oh, shut up, Merrick. He's
It's
back.
Aurelia. I think she's been poisoned.
She's chilling.
Yeah, she's
Surely
hanging
had
out.
something to do with this device she found.
She's actually pulling one of those
It
moves
seemed
as
to
a
be
kid
causing
where
the
you like
crystal to
pretend to
corrode.
fall asleep
Yep.
to get
Somehow
carried away.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
found empty.
Yep.
That's canonical, guys.
I've never seen anything like this.
Mario just at home
Heck of a
fuming.
contraption.
No, it's not. That's not
Merrick.
the law.
I need you to take Aurelia
Side
with
note,
you back to High
That's what I
Keep.
think of it.
She's out
You'll
cold.
probably never unhear it
I'm
now,
not
but
dragging her
Merrick is the same
halfway
voice
across
actor
Eridar.
for, or rather Ryan,
Merrick,
is the
she's a
same voice
member of
actor
the
for Merrick
Order,
and also for
same
Order.
as you or I.
Oh my god,
Without
okay.
any respect for that,
He's
we'll
very, very
keep
good.
her safe.
And they sound like
Fine,
Italian people.
okay.
So there you go.
No need to browbeat me, Edwin.
If you were to do
Whatever's happened to her
one of the
may happen to
heroes,
others.
who would you want
Hector
to voice
needs
act?
to know. I'll try
Could
to
I
find the
want to
source
voice
of these
act, or who could I
devices.
actually voice act?
If they're indeed leeching
I guess both, you know, answer. Yeah, like whatever you
to all
feel.
of Eridar.
I'd probably, I've been pretty unwell in the last
Sir,
week, so
a
with the
breach is
rasp I've
beginning
got
to
right now, I
overrun
could
the
probably
north.
give Edwin a good crack.
Keep is in place,
But who would I
but we
want
lack
to
the
actually
means to
play?
defend it.
Vizago would be fun.
The Norfolk villagers have technology and
Or Alis,
resources we
why
can
not?
use.
If we're throwing it all out
They will
there,
be
Alis could be
expecting
really fun.
protection in
But
return.
the ones with a bit of
We
range
must
or a bit
prioritise
of
the
broad
keep
to
above all
them
else.
is
We'll
great
use
fun.
whatever influence we have left
Yeah, I hear
to
that. Let's do
mobilize
that.
the population and take a stand against the
Yeah,
nightmares.
probably we'll go with Edwin. Edwin's pretty cool. He's a cool cat. He's got a big
That's how
sword.
everyone describes
How
Edwin.
can I
Okay,
serve?
this guy's a cool cat.
He's a cool cat.
100%.
He's seen some stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, out of one eye,
yeah.
yeah. I wrote it up because I think Merrick. I love doing that sort
Shining
of like
bright.
that Britishness of like, hello.
Oh,
Very
he's
fun
such
to
a brute.
do.
Yeah, yeah.
Back to
Yeah,
the
I kind of
vein.
like that British nature, and he's like a little bit like sarcastic because Edwin is like broken by the trials and tribulations.
He doesn't believe in fun.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what fun is anymore.
And I like that Merrick has that kind of energy of it's like, yeah, it's a bad world, and I'm gonna, be good, I guess, but not really. Like,
Good-ish, yeah.
yeah, like I'm gonna have fun, and it's like there's bad people around. I'm gonna get the power. I'm gonna like have fun with being like sort of an authoritarian. Not that he's authoritarian, but he's a figure of authority, and he leans into that a little bit, and he like.
He's unapologetically himself.
Yeah, he's a naughty boy sometimes, and I like that. I think he probably has the most like fun in this world, because even like the Volatus, I wouldn't say they're like having a fun time with being evil. Maybe Aurelia a little bit, but like, yeah, I think Merrick's having the most fun of all the heroes, and I like that he has a bit of humor when taking out nightmares. Like even his voice line where he's like, "Oh, I remember it for the night." I love. Yeah, no, that's my take.
Actually,
I
Ryan's
step
session.
towards
So we had
this.
2 separate sessions for Merrick, and the first one was for survival, which is basically all the stuff that you were just talking about.
Make
Like when
way.
you press him,
Yeah.
what does he say? What does he do? When you cast ability, when you whatever. And then the second
Drive
one,
out the darkness.
You're getting some good examples right now.
yeah. But then later on,
Light the
the
way.
second Merrick one was for the dialogue for the campaign. And it was very, very funny because I was only involved in the very first session for that, and then someone else
I
was
stand prepared.
I think Kev was.
Shout out Kev.
Shout out Kev from Tavern of Voices, Kev Power.
Sister,
He was.
I'm surprised to see you still here with the veil fast approaching.
But we needed
We're
to
unable
get
to leave.
really good Merrick
We have
burps.
important
And
reasons to be sent to hide.
that was
Finish packing it.
there's
The
some
nightmares are coming.
filthy,
Let us help
awful,
protect you as long
revolting
as we
stuff
can,
that exists in the
and
back
then
end
you
that
can
should
join
never
us
see
at
the
the
light of
keep.
day.
We'll give
I didn't
you
get
all
to be
the
part of
support we
that
can
session,
afford,
but I heard stories about it, and that people walked out being like, I feel very ill after having to
Yeah.
listen to someone
Yeah.
close mic burp like that. They were putrid.
Oh boy.
Well, on a nicer note, we got another choice.
Yeah, another choice.
Liz, do you want to explain what the choices are and what you're going to go with? Aggressively
Wow.
hovering over triage.
I would like to pick this one because we love triage tents.
Lewis has the craziest playstyle I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are like, triage tents, briage tents, and Lewis is like, I only use gates and triage tents.
Gotta get the light bearers. But yeah, so there's all these villages that we have to go and help in Mission 5. So they give us free research or some free cool little bonuses during the mission. So you got triage tents, or you got give me extra villages, but I can build houses. So that's a bonus.
Yep.
Nice
So yeah,
serve.
but yeah, so that's pretty much what we're doing. But yeah, you get all of the buildings in the towns, which is pretty cool. And yeah, and you gotta defend, I guess, against the big nightmare, which is coming soon. So,
When?
Oh, when?
27:03 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Written on the screen, real clear.
This may be our last chance to scout
Yeah, I
for
mean,
more survivors.
going on some of the game design,
Let's
I
keep
think
moving.
it does a really good job of like introducing you to like so much of the early mission is like running around and exploring, and there's a little bit of building, but like it doesn't really resemble what you do in survival. And then slowly throughout the game, mission 3, where you kind of defending like Merrick's house. No, what's it called? He's not his house. he's like barony. Yeah, his outpost.
Castle,
Yeah, like that's your like first proper introduction to like, oh, you're getting a lot more of this
Key
defense.
to
There's a
the
little bit
light.
in mission 1 and 2. But I think it's really, really cool the way that it's like you start to get more buildings,
Forward.
you start to get more defenses, you start to like resemble, and it switches back and forth. Like mission 4 wasn't really like that. It was kind of going from place to place,
we're no
acquiring
threat.
units
I'll
in.
swear to you.
You don't train them way.
We've
They're just
seen
sort of
what's
given
out
to
there
you
and we
because you're
want
kind of
no
like
part of
recruiting
it.
people, I guess,
We
narrative.
surrender.
Shout out to
We
David
should
Weaver, by the way.
quarter you here and now for the amount of trouble you've
Yeah.
given these
Yep.
settlements.
It's one of the
Can't
other
go on like
people
this.
very, very heavily involved in this
Mercy.
game,
We'll help you.
and putting his,
We're gonna hold
Set
our
up.
own in a scrap.
putting himself
So
forward
be
for
it.
voice acting too. Yeah.
If you turn
We had lots of
you'll be
little
used as
place
nightmare
items in
bait.
offers.
Thank you. We'll fight, yes.
There you are, that's
Whatever's
Danny.
out there's more than any of us can take on.
That's
by
Danny.
That's
ourselves
Danny.
anyway.
Yep, Danny Armstrong.
That's
Yep.
so good.
So
Wow.
for those
Head
who
of
are
publishing.
not, that's it. Danny, head of publishing, was actually one of the first people to walk in the door as an audio designer at Playside many, many moons ago.
Yeah, that's right.
So he was
stand
he was the
in
audio designer
defiance.
before I joined, and then he moved up to being the general manager
Ready
for a
to
while, and now
face
he's
the
doing other
dark.
things. But yeah, lots of people wearing different hats as part of this game. It's great.
So you also mentioned before that you had a cameo.
So I had a cameo only for Exertions. I didn't do any voice stuff on it because I didn't want that.
What must be done?
I didn't want to have to try and performance direct myself. It's not fun. So I got on the mic and made
How
some...
very gracious of you to.
That's it.
Sharing the role.
That's it. Yeah. But no, it just meant that I was able to get in here, and I think it's for some of the Alderan units. When they
serve.
die, that's me dying.
Do you want us to give us a little sample?
I would,
not
but
waver.
I've been sick, mate, so I don't know if I got the throat for
All right,
it.
then I'll do it on your behalf.
He's done it. It sounds exactly like that.
I'll give you 2 minutes of alt.
Great. Yep.
Grant us
Talking
passage,
before when you were
and we will
saying,
ensure that you
Listen
and
to
your
this.
family
This is
are
Edwin kind
protected
of popping.
for as
Yeah.
long as I stand.
We can make a deal. But if the nightmares come, you better be there too.
Shout out also to, we had some fantastic people do a lot of the NPC and the voices for villagers, and a handful of like incidental things for, say, Alderan or Order or
Our defenses are under
Rebellion
attack.
units as well. Just little incidental stuff here and there. There's quite a few, and they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I mean the voice acting is consistently really good across the board. Even on like as you're saying, like units like it's just like Norfolk Villager or whatever, like Talon Soldier and stuff like that. And especially for getting that out of the jamokes that work here at Playside. That's very. I mean, we can just give it up to the director right there.
Oh, look.
The performance coaching. Oh, one more thing. Just make sure you're leaning
Get on
this
with
way.
it.
You know, you're in camera.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, who do you think surprised you most on the team? Came in and just crushed it.
Okay.
Came in with backstory and they're like, I've been doing the work, I've got ults.
Yeah, look, in terms of walking in the door and just getting straight on the mic,
The light burns strong.
there's two that come to mind straight away. One is Finn. Now,
Strike
Finn
with
has been
purpose.
working on a bunch of different bits and pieces. He was not involved
Into the
directly in this
light.
project. At the time, I think he was working on what has now been
I
announced
go.
as Civ 7 VR. But he is an enormous man, like a very, very, very tall man. And he has a very, very tall man voice. And so the cool part was getting him in to be Aelis's guards. And these guards, when they attack, when they die, when they do that stuff, sound just like Man Mountains because they're coming from a literal Man Mountain. And then the other one was Izzy. Now Izzy's had a whole bunch of different roles at Playside. Things like studio coordinator and a variety of other stuff. But again, was not directly involved in this project. We just put a little like call out of like, hands up who wants to get involved and do some death screams and some shouts. She walked in and like unleashed, and everyone else out on the floor. She was so loud you could hear it like across the floor, and everyone just stops. It was like, what is that? And she walks out the door, and everyone just gives her a round of applause.
Wow.
Like blood.
I must give her another one
screeches.
right now.
good
That's
job,
really-
Izzy. Yep.
I serve.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, that's so fun.
Embers.
Yeah, I mean, voice
guide
acting in a
me.
game like this, I think would be so fun. But there'll be opportunities in the future.
Yeah, indeed.
Playside has some things cooking.
There's always things cooking.
Yeah. Me trying to pitch to do Napoleon in Civ 7. Fluxus did not. That one did not get off the ground. Yeah. Next time. Civ 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, they promised it to me. I wanted to mention, this is a very personal story, nothing to do with Age of Darkness, but my friend, who is not a performer in any capacity, is in Amsterdam, and his friend made like a small game called like Going Up or Driving Is Hard, and it's like a going up sort of thing. And he did the voice actor of the main character.
Friendly face.
And I sat with him,
We'll
I
stick with
talked to him
you
every
and
week on
watch
like
your
Discord.
backs.
And then I sat and played that game, and he was just doing his regular voice.
Yep, just him.
So I'm talking to him on Discord while like in just the ears he's like, damn, I really hope I can get to the top of this treehouse. And one of like on death screams and stuff, like because it's like a game where you fall down, there was a lot of like yeah, that he did, and he's like, yeah, I just sat there for 2 minutes and just sent my friend like an audio of just me doing a bunch of those. But he would be doing those noises on the Discord call when I was like playing and he was falling down. So it was like I was getting this like double of like the game would do it, but I was like, you've actually nailed it. That
Scouting
he's
ahead.
making the same noises in real life as a reaction to that Archer's Doomed. Oh, I thought that was like I thought that was a play.
I was like, oh, she can take out this one there. There's a whole bunch of them.
Something for me.
It is funny watching like designers or like people like Lewis who are very, very good at the game and do stuff, and I'm like, wow, I wouldn't do that. Like that's an interesting thing I'm learning, and they're like, oh, that was a massive mistake by me. I don't learn from that at all. Like, it was a total misplay. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Ready to face the dark.
Yeah, we're just chilling. And Archie can take a group of like 20. Yeah, no worries.
Lewis's whole goal is to just like constantly disrupt the meta. And
Yeah,
just be
yeah.
Like, look at what the devs are doing now. There must be some secret
Throwing
stuff.
Eager and
Lewis
willing.
pitching some crazy buffs and nerfs so he can have a really specific meta
The
for
light
himself.
burns strong.
One of the light bearers
Basic
did
triage.
hardcore DPS
What now?
as well now. Light bearer meta coming in.
They're pretty cool. But yeah,
From the
chilling.
ashes.
We're building.
Yeah, do you want to give us an update on what you're doing? We're just slapping the old gas bag and you're just expertly kind of making your way through
I'm
this
ready.
level.
Yeah.
You
like-
really make it look so easy. Like this game is hard.
Oh, it's yeah. Once you like get the
light
1,000 hour
burns.
mark, then you're okay.
Yeah.
But It's good.
Speak.
You just gotta like keep on building units, which is what you have to do for this mission, and also
I
get
am here.
to the furthest town, which is all the way over here, because there's some pretty good research.
Very well.
That is essential for like the final, I guess, like crystal wave or like a bunch of nightmares that come. So yeah.
Ready
I
for
have got to look
action.
at the good old side objectives. So I'll build this real quick.
I mean, it's only been 10 minutes and you've already got 3 of the villages. You're about to get your wood workshop. You're kind of cruising through.
Generating gold.
Yeah. You're like, how dare you forget I'm also generating gold.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm absolutely crushing it.
But yeah, it's good.
Ready.
How long do you reckon this mission would normally take if you didn't have 1,000 hours? It might
Yeah.
take you. This is the first time you're playing this mission.
Honestly, I think first time I played
As you
this,
wish.
took me like a good 2 goes to like beat it.
Oh, what a scrub.
Yeah,
Twice.
Yeah, twice because it was so hard. But yeah, we
Right.
like adjusted it, added in some like extra, I guess, cool abilities that you could pick up at the villages.
Oh, so you did it in 2 goes before,
And
as
you-
per your
Yeah.
suggestion, it was made easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I helped you guys out.
Yeah.
But nah, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I reckon
I stand
first go,
prepared.
once you like understand or maybe making a save before the I guess your preparation for the Death Knight comes, because it's a lot of nightmares. You have to like kill
I
think
serve.
it's 1,000 or something. So yeah, I guess prepping, knowing like where stuff is on the map is always good. Knowing where all of the
Ready
yes,
to face the dark.
good lumberyard placements are is always a handy one.
Yeah, that's true.
The
But yeah.
dark and
So it's pretty
cruises.
crazy. It's not too bad. But yeah, because there's all
We
these
lost contact with the
POI
Order.
camps around the map.
We'll join up with you now.
Has
Safety
the
in numbers
best
and all.
video on them. It's
I
good
was
stuff. Yeah.
born
It's
ready.
good old unique player. So just chilling.
Very well.
Oh, they really are a lot, yeah.
Yeah, this one's pretty tough. It's got spitters like everywhere.
Which you just sort of like face tank, which I respect. As
Hey,
a,
this guy's saying.
oh, level 7.
Everyone's dying, but it's okay.
Yeah, but you'll get more, you'll get more, you'll get more.
Oh yeah, true. Max cap gold.
Yeah, cap golds, walk over that gold just to make a
Light burns
statement.
strong.
I don't need it.
Yeah, we
you
don't.
know. I'm just flexing.
A flicker.
Do you have
in
a
the
personal
dark.
favorite? I mean, you mentioned before this, but do you have a personal favorite like hero call out? Like when you're playing like those simple voice lines.
It's like what is it? It's like, do you need a hunter like that?
Oh yeah,
That
that
one.
is Kevin Powell. That's the person I
That's
was talking
Kevin
about
Bell.
before. Yep.
Yeah. That's gold in the QA department.
You need a hunter.
Yeah. So we say that all the time, which is that's pretty funny.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have a personal favorite, Vince?
Look, I think Sentinel is still probably a personal favourite for a long time.
Yeah.
There's just so many good lines in that. Doesn't say much when he spawns. He just goes Sentinel live, but like there's other things of like.
Wow, that was beautifully melodic.
But when you click him, he goes, oh now what? And like,
grumpy.
I'm awake. Like there's some really good lines that are just fun.
Proceed with purpose.
Yeah, he just had a lot of personality for a big boy.
We're here to help you defend this town. You want to earn our trust, old man?
God, Edwin was
Yeah.
Show us the order.
throwing it down. Was not saying that so graciously.
Save my boys. They were searching for an exit through the
Yeah.
woods.
So this one's pretty hard. This objective, because you gotta go up through the nightmares and then come back down. And, yeah. As you will
I
see
serve.
in a moment.
As we'll all become witnesses to.
Yeah. So you really don't know.
Yeah,
where
and your
not
armies are
the
thinned.
shadow path.
I will
I
say.
know, yeah, absolutely got destroyed by the two.
Ready
Burst is
to
Nerf
face
win.
the
Spit is Nerf
dark.
win.
Yeah. But we'll work our way back.
What do we kill first?
Yeah. It'll be fine. You've got your army down the bottom. Although some of the nightmares are slowly picking away at your walls.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think it, even further down.
Oh, they're chilling. They're chilling.
Yeah.
They've got all these guys to.
Yeah. I mean, you've got people
smiling
there. You're
prepares.
ready.
From the ashes.
Yeah, Chris, no, I'm curious. So, how did you feel like getting to work on a project like this? Well, like coming from film and into gaming. What do you think were some of like the key differences that you sort of like noticed and that you've like liked the most about getting to work on games, or a game like Age of Darkness
Dark
specifically. But we can start more generically.
Sure. I mean, so when I
Another
first
corpse
joined.
for the pyre.
Cool, well, good. Yeah, when I first started getting into games, that
As
was
you
not
wish.
long after. The first game I worked on, I think, was 2013.
Oh, okay, so a hot minute ago.
2013, yeah.
That's like 17 years ago.
Well,
No one
yeah.
checked him out. No one checked him out.
So, yeah, I'm 65.
yeah. But you're looking so good. Oh my.
Skincare,
Yeah.
Drink lots of water. Look, when I first started with that, the whole thing that was new and exciting was like I've been playing games my whole life and I love them.
Brag about
But
it.
well, yeah. but
I
there's-
was there when
I
Pong was
there.
invented.
Yeah, but there's a notion of like.
I said it's gonna take off. It's a growth industry.
Yep. Yeah, look, when the main things with it is always to do with how reactive
don't
your
touch the
creative
spear.
outputs become. So it's a different set of challenges if you're doing anything that is film, or I mean, it's the same process with
Hey,
a cinematic
send me
game,
to battle.
where like if you hit pause at any point in that cinematic and then you hit unpause, and then you know, scrub along the timeline,
I may
it's
not
still going to be the
trust
same
the
thing every
order,
time, end to end in some form.
you've done
Whereas
right
whenever
by
you're
us
doing anything in
today.
games, that
Aye,
is just
very
entirely
well.
not the case. So
What's ours
what
is
it does
yours.
require is like lots of
Let's
foundational
hope we
stuff
haven't just signed our
to make
lives
sure that
away.
you have things in
Just
place
don't
to
go
support
leaving us in the
whatever
lurch if things
happens
turn
on the
sour.
fly. And so that's been the main change of it, is you can do some really like fantastically comprehensive, say, Foley
We
sessions
stand in
and get something to be
defiance.
believable and beautiful and well sculpted for film.
On my way.
And you can do some similar practices as well in games for sure, but the way in which you'll be preparing those things, it needs to be prepared in the sense of like, if I have created this wonderful water bottle, where's the camera? There's the camera. If I've created this wonderful water bottle,
Well,
on
this is gonna
film,
be fun.
it's going to make the same sound and it's going to look the same every way because you only to see
Light
this
burns
angle of
strong.
it. But in games, I can see 360, and therefore, what happens when I see the back ugly side of it and it's
From
presented in a
the
different light?
ashes.
So it just means when you're creating your assets, you have to be able to facilitate those sort of changes at any given time. And that just can be to do with like what we're
Onward.
seeing now with Edwin, for instance. You can create a whole bunch of different death sounds,
Very
or a
cool.
whole bunch of different cool fire sounds.
I stand
But
prepared,
the combination in which the player will execute them could be any different number of
ready
ways.
to face the dark.
Yeah. Wow. Do you have a personal favorite sound effect?
I was thinking about this before, like
Like, because how much Foley did you do?
actual Foley recording for this. There's
Or like, you know, prep for the Foley, or how much did you work on sound effects and things versus like, because you've talked a lot about your involvement in voice acting, and
Yeah.
you also, so arrogantly bragged about
Get
how
on
you've
with
done so
it.
much on this game. No. Very, very impressive.
Cool.
No, it's amazing. Sorry, how dare I?
it's been a long project, that's for sure.
Yeah. Also, we should shout out the Ballista Towers is the thing that you would go
Yeah.
for, which I think is
They're pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're the best building in the game.
They're up there.
Yeah, I love them just because they have so much utility from start to finish. Like you get them pretty early on, and then they continue. But your favorite building is Gate.
What do we kill first?
Gate.
yeah.
I'm building walls. Why?
Yeah. But you were like, I wish this was two gates. No, I just wanted to. So now that you have Ballista Towers, do you feel like you're prepped and ready for?
Oh, ready to go.
Ready to roll.
About 12 minutes. To
Yeah,
get
Lewis
up.
is gonna just for the next 12 minutes.
Walk away.
Yeah.
Watch
I'm
me
here.
build throughout the map. It's just crazy. But yeah.
Sorry, not to entirely derail. I just wanted to shout that out
No,
as
that's
we
alright.
keep making sure that we
I'm
do
trying to remember what the
reference.
question was.
I remember. It's how much
light
involvement did you have
burns
with the
strong.
Foley? And
Oh, sure.
Yeah, what was your sort of?
Yeah, cool. So with this game, Foley
dark
recordings,
encroaches.
we. I remember Zach at some point went out and did some recording.
Shout out Zach.
Shout out Zach. He went out and did some recording at a blacksmith that's out near where his folks live, I believe. Which is only
What's
maybe.
their full address? No.
Yeah. Like I think the blacksmith is probably like 45 out of the city, so it's not really that far away. But it meant you get some really neat little metal clanks and cool stuff to work with for that. But outside of actual recording for that, there wasn't a huge amount of Foley, as in hands-on physical recording of Foley.
What?
Because there is so much content around. If it's like, give me sword
I
impacts,
serve.
give me wood impacts, give me building blocks. So a lot of what we worked with was more to do with the building blocks
We
and as about how we
stand in defiance.
constructed and made those presentable. my involvement with that, I was a lot more involved with hands-on stuff for some of the early units, so the early access content. One of my favorite sounds was getting the Grand Ballista Tower, the impacts sounding and feeling good. That was a really fun thing to play with a long time ago. And then what else? Since then, yeah, getting some of the major boss encounter things happening. Some of those were pretty cool later on as well. So,
which you guys will get to see in future streams when we continue covering the campaign.
Yeah.
Like moth.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I mean, like, it's interesting to say it's like, oh, it's about the combination of like how you implement certain like, assets that exist and like the ordering of those. Do you do much like mixing of those like pre-existing assets, or is it kind of?
Yeah. So how?
So make sure you're properly in frame. I just want to make sure.
I keep doing that. I'm so sorry.
No, you don't need to apologize.
I'm on it.
It's all good.
It's all good.
So I'm here to remind.
That's it.
And no other reason at all. Lewis and Chris were like, "Can you not be here for this one?" Actually,
we just want to hang out. And,
yeah.
Watch this cool mission.
Touch the spear.
Again, I've totally lost where we're going with that one.
Master in the making.
I don't even remember.
Doesn't matter.
Oh my God, what was the question?
Yeah. We're talking about Foley. We're talking about things that I enjoyed doing.
Eager and willing.
Yeah, look, I guess in terms of other ones that I really enjoyed getting involved
Oh, we're talking about mixing sound effects.
Mixing sound effects.
Like how much it changes of like when you get it from like the package.
Oh, yeah. No, look, at no point does anything, if you are purchasing
On my way.
or utilizing any building block content, there's nothing that you'll hear in this game, and realistically that you should ever just be like buy and chuck in as a standalone ready to go thing. One of the things that you need to do regularly, actually here's a good another point coming back to the comparison of this in film, is when you're creating stuff in film, if the monster leaps out at you in film, you make the sound for that one time the monster leaps out at you, because that's the only time you see it happen in the sequence, right? Whereas in this one, you need variations. So when it comes to this notion of like creating content, mixing it, producing it, to then put in the game, you need to have enough variations so that if Edwin hits a sword 10, 12, 20 times, it's not the same singular sound every time.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure you're creating lots of variations. So what you end up doing is creating a lot of different building blocks, and you'll either render those out so they are functionally ready to go, and you just be like, choose one at random, and be like sword swing A, now sword swing D, and now whatever it might be. Or you can actually create even more granularity, which is what we've done with a lot of this, where if you were to open up the sound cues for this, because it's an old school Unreal,
From the ashes.
you can actually see there is a whole variety of different layers. So say for Merrick, when he's attacking, there'll be separated layers for his Foley, of his clothing, there'll be separated layers for the swing of the weapon, of the swing aspect as well, of the blade itself, and then from that you can create all these different levels of granularity, so lots of things. I'm just going to cough, I'm so sorry.
Make way.
Anyways, I just need to do mine.
Yeah, cool.
There we are. Let's do that. Okay, cool. My bad. Sweet.
All good.
Right, and we can address these comments. I was like, oh, what are they?
The light burns
All right.
strong.
We can start with Man QQ. I love the game. Greetings from Chile. Thank you so much. And greetings as well. And also,
Light the way.
Jealous Crow. I just want to say, love this game. Been playing on Nightmare and Harder and having a blast. A Nightmare and Harder
What do we
is
kill first?
Pretty good.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's very, very, very legit.
That's way more than what I'd be doing.
No, you're doing 8.8. They'll never know. Just say I'm on 8.8 every time. Riot Titan campaign looks great.
I serve.
Thanks, Riot Titan.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Links to us. Today I beat my first survival on normal. That's good. I mean,
Huge.
yeah, that is huge. Congratulations. That's absolutely massive.
Don't touch the spear.
I mean, normal is good. I think
yeah,
underappreciated how difficult that is. We did a poll in the Discord recently and asked, I mean, I can check the stats, but it was like, what's the hardest difficulty you've beat the game on? And I think like Veteran was the most, but there was like pretty few people that actually beat the game on like things harder than that. And this is in the Discord, these are the real ones. Yeah, normal was the most, well, that's 70 votes, 19% of people, and if you're building up, that's a really solid base to be going from. Also, is this pre-recorded? No, this is not pre-recorded. We're live.
Hello.
Unless you're watching this on Steam later, in which very, very good chance this is in fact pre-recorded and is part of the playlist that plays. But if you're watching this on 20th of February, 2:12 AEST time, then it's live.
Right
baby.
away.
Awesome. Yeah, we got some questions about. We got blue faction and we got red factions, but we really want to see yellow faction. I mean, we've talked about faction and Alderaan as a possible faction.
With haste.
You know, that's a thought that many people have had. That's what I will say on that. You're not the first person to have popped that idea out.
Master in the
Yeah,
making.
awesome. Hey everyone, I just wanted to say hey everyone.
I stand prepared.
Cool. Yeah, so we can focus back on this. We're getting close, Lewis.
Are we? Yeah, 5 minutes.
5 minutes,
Oh
you
my
know,
goodness.
we can drop back in. How are you feeling about? So the last one I did want to shout out is admin WRFR. Hey, will you do updates for the MP mode in the future? The game is great in duo, but we need more. Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of things. The main focus is ensuring that you know, the current gameplay experience is sort of the best it can be. So, you know, we're talking about fixes and just like making sort of tweaks and refines. But obviously conversations about the game in sort of its entirety are happening within the team. So that's what I'll say on that. And then Tyvin just said, I guess so, question mark. Love the energy, no idea what you're referencing, but I just wanted to shout that out. Yeah. Sorry, not to interrupt, Lewis, but yeah, how are you feeling? You really fleshed out the map, you're getting ballistas going.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the nightmare path in Mission 5 is gonna split from everywhere, so good luck covering it. It's pretty tough.
I like that you're saying that to us, like, Chris and I are like, damn, bro, that sucks.
Yeah, it's tough. Because, yeah, it opens up here, through the middle, and then also around this side, so, yeah. You just gotta, like, defend and hope it doesn't hit the base.
Almost like
Nightmares
another
are
mode in this game you may have heard of.
Not long now.
Survival
Yeah,
and multiplayer.
That's
crazy.
it. Yeah.
What? There's a survival mode?
And a multiplayer.
There's more than just a campaign? And there's a multiplayer?
Yep, this game just keeps on giving.
Oh my god, you can play a survival mode experience in a cooperative environment? That's crazy that you just said all that right now.
With your friends who have also purchased the game?
Yeah. Oh my god, and if you haven't purchased the game, go to Steam right now and get yourself a copy of Age of Darkness.
Personal recommendation.
Yeah, I would personally recommend it. That's my...
Get
I mean,
on
as someone
with
who
it.
has, like, no personal stake in the game, I would say my personal recommendation is that you purchase the game. And a copy for your friend. And a copy just to have on deck for someone in the future, possibly.
For your nan.
For your nan. Oh, nans love this game.
Yeah.
We've heard many reviews from grandmothers, and it's their favorite game. They're voting for Game of the Year. They're making a hard push.
Yeah.
You know, survey says, stats have shown, research has been done.
Absolute sleeper demographic.
Not even sleep. We expected it.
Literally sleeping. No.
They sleeping, but they're doing 8.8 on survival mode. They're doing the hardest difficulty at every hardship, and they're cruising through. Yeah.
I am here.
That's the thing I aspire to achieve when I'm older.
Is be a cool
Proceed with purpose.
grandparent gamer.
Or one day beat this on 8.8. You know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Takes me the rest of my life. We'll see how we go.
I'm never gonna be able to go out and like
the
be really good at sport in front of like my grandchildren. But I'm never gonna be there like, damn, like granddad's got like handles. Like, oh my god, that 3-point shot is crispy. But I may be able to like boom them in a first person shooter never played. Like, I hope to be like, hey,
All right,
granddad,
I'm
this is the new game. It's called like TwitchCon. The game is literally just named after a convention. It's a throwback. And they're like, I have 200 hours, and I play it for the first time and absolutely just decimate them. And I'm like, I used to play a game or two in my time. That's my personal dream.
Yeah.
That's what I think about when I go to sleep.
Become the cool grandpa.
Yeah, who rinses, who doesn't hold back.
And unapologetically so as well. It's like, no, there's no... This kid who's just bought this game and loves it, 4 years old. No mercy.
Yeah, I'm like, add me to your server, and then I just start griefing with their friends. That's my goal. I want.
There's a video of you doing Fortnite dances.
Yeah, but like in real life, like I'm sending it to them during the clip because I have time. I'm so dominant. I get out my camera, I film, I chuck it. Winner, chicken dinner, and they're like, "Granddad, are these references? I don't get them." And I go, "They are references."
Exist anymore.
Yeah, I'm like, "Where's TikTok?" Trying to send it to them. Anyway, so that's a peek into my psyche. Clip it, send it to my boss. He'll love that. Defeating this nightmare elite.
We love the elites.
Damn.
We love the elites.
The light burns
I
strong.
love the set dressing in this little area too.
Oh, it's definitely like
We stand in defiance.
the Elosen ruins. Just chilling.
Also the
Onward.
I don't know what the actual like rock formation is, but I can't point to the screen, so I was pointing at the camera then, right? But like
it's
the rock
really hard to
formations.
like orient. You're like, this area.
Yeah. All the octagonal stuff.
Research
very,
complete.
very cool.
Yeah.
We shall
Mission
not
4, if you
waver.
go like the rebellion side, it's just like they're everywhere, which
Hey,
is pretty cool.
send me to
run
battle.
around. But yeah, they're scattered throughout the campaign, which is always nice
I
to
am
see,
here.
especially like M7.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah, Amza was talking about last time we did
flicker
campaign
in the
because
dark.
like the game designers will like set out the map like in general and they'll kind of like build it out and then the artists come through and they add all these touches and they like add in, as we're talking about, the archers or the little relics or whatever, and you know they make it look that extra bit crispy. And he was saying like one of the things, I mean not to put words in his mouth, but one of the things that he's like wow is when it's like you have this level and the artists like do that touch up and you're oh you like really like bust on this
now.
and and it's like so beautiful. And there's so many small things throughout the campaign where you're like, oh, this is just like one small area that's like, it's gotten that love, it's gotten that affection, it's gotten that attention that you could focus on. You're like, oh my god, this is so cool. And
Adventure awaits.
no, that's MLG. That's purposeful. That's planned.
Our buildings are under attack.
Definitely. So this is the
good luck.
final wave, guys.
Yeah, do you want to talk through what you're thinking, your process?
Oh well, all this is gonna go.
Okay,
and all these, you can protect the farms, which it's pretty good, I guess. But most of the time they will fall.
Research
so
complete.
many nightmares. But eventually they'll make their way down.
A master in the making.
And that's pretty much, you gotta like survive till 1,000. And they'll just keep on coming. So if you like want to hold out, you can, but it won't end on this mission. So I just gotta like figure out where my units are and get them back to the keep before I guess the nightmares reach, because they come this way too, which I have not built my structures.
Oopsies.
It's an interesting like variation on a Death Knight as well, which is like get to a certain amount.
Yeah.
Where it's like instead of like, hey, defend your keep, like that's an aspect to this as well. But it's like just keep killing them, and you know if that means you need to push like some of the wave in a different direction, and you hold that off, and you focus on like one area to do the like bulk of your kill, and you kind of have that optionality.
Our defenses are under
and as you
attack.
said before, like they're coming from multiple directions, which we see there are these like multiple points, which is the first time I think we've seen that properly, and is much more resembling like a final stand rather than a death knight, which it's like you have this is where the multiple deaths, multiple blood crystals would have spawned, and you're going, oh my god, shout out that retreat line.
So they're all gone. That's where that's going from.
But it does seem like part of your strategy here is like, I'm going to put Ballista's towers, knowing they're going to fall, but they're going to get 100 kills. They're going to get 150 kills. They're going to chip away at that total. And it's like, slow them down, make sure I like tick up that number. Where do you think realistically is going to be like the biggest stand?
Yeah, it's definitely from the like front section, because you've got like the main wave coming down through the center of the map, and you've also got the far left, which is pushing through this.
Which is really surprisingly well so far.
Yeah. Like I'm pretty prepped. I've got the economy all fine.
It's probably okay.
We're probably okay.
Yeah.
But for new
Lewis
players,
has not sweat a single bead this entire time. Has been absolutely chilling, hanging out, kicking up his feet, having a mimosa on the side, which we've done a lot of in-post editing to make sure you guys don't see. But,
our buildings are under attack.
Yeah, we're all drinking mimosas. I don't know if you guys can tell, but
that's it.
We're all just in here specifically.
yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah, very very clean gameplay.
very clean, very clean.
I mean, getting that ballista tower has certainly been.
It's helped.
It's helped.
Like, the nightmares are down this area, which, yeah, pretty spooky. So
They're coming. They're getting a little bit
Hey,
close, and you only
don't
have one.
touch
Oh,
the
you have those
spear.
2 towers there.
probably should send some dudes.
Yeah, you also have like so many units that are just hanging out.
They're chilling.
You have not put them on the front lines. You're like, nah, you guys can chill out, drill the keep. This is very impressive. I want to hear.
master in the making.
One thing I do want to hear about is how the nightmare noises came to be.
The nightmare noises.
Yeah,
As
they're
in,
like.
whole variety of stuff. Like one of my favorite things about monster noises is you can kind of just make them out of anything, right? So, and one of the standard treatments for it would be if I needed to voice something. Let's say Big Boy Crusher right here, right?
Everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite, yeah. What do we want to do?
What?
What you'd want to do for this is you get on the mic and you do roars, you do
We can't hold out much longer.
grizzly sort of
I will not lay down more lives
exertion
needlessly.
noises. But
We have no
part of the
choice but
process
to
is you
withdraw
actually record it
and
at
lead the
faster
villagers to
speeds, and then
safety.
you can set up
Go
the
now.
sample rate. And the idea is that you would record it at a very fast speed, so that when you
send me
play
to
it back
battle.
slower, it actually changes the pitch, and so it sounds like a natural
You
version
stand in
of
defiance.
people being able to make this noise, but a big demon monster version of it. And so how we did this for some of these, I think from memory, a lot of the crawlers encapsulated things
I
like
will beat your
that same
head.
sort of zombie sort of treatment, but made to sound much smaller and gentler.
Yes?
Otherwise, what we
That's
did
how I
was
describe the crawlers.
smaller and gentler.
Yeah, gentler.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's it. That's it. But then you could also use elements of. I've done like squealing piglets and
Ready to
Tasmanian,
face the
not tigers, Tasmanian devils. Things that make just pretty ugly noises. I also really love when you get noises from, say, camels or horses or walruses, in fact. Walruses and seals. Like things that often have a slightly longer snout can make some really, really peculiar noises, and depending on what that needs to sound
I
like,
stand
you
prepared.
get some really unusual stuff based on their starting weird noises. Vultures are great as well, just really, really awful noises. And then from those
defenses
you
are
can go
under
to
attack.
chop them up, repitch them, readjust them, combine them with
keep
other
is under
animals and other
attack.
things. And then it's all down to
How are you
like,
feeling, Lewis? It's getting a bit skippy.
yeah,
Well, I gotta get to the exit.
he's just toying with them now.
Yeah. They'll absolutely destroy everything in the
I am
path.
here.
And more still on the way.
Wow.
Oopsies.
So yeah, it still ramps up, which is pretty cool.
Right.
But yeah, we're pretty much done. So we'll exit before they'll kill Edwin. But
The
yeah,
keep is under attack.
but here we are. Final
Oi!
cutscene.
Where are you running off to? Nightmares are that way. You'll end up dead.
I think there's a cinematic.
I've got family to the north. I
Yeah.
need to get them out of there.
Yep.
Family. I had family too. Until the Alderin cut them all down. Even snatched my baby girl from my breast. Dead and gone. The rebellion is my family now. And yours. Wait. Where'd you come from? Are you fleeing the battle? Coward!
No, I'm not. I'm no coward. I just need to save my kin.
Edward strolling up.
Speaking of cowards,
Here he comes with a village.
treacherous hypocrites, all of them. Stop right there, old man.
Rebels, heed my words. We've no time to squabble. The nightmares are upon us. We must evacuate.
Another fleeing battle. You traitorous whelps would stand on our necks if the Alderin asked you to.
You have the wrong of it. We fought to save Norfolk and rebellion alike. I promise you. We serve all of Eredar, brethren. Our only enemy are the nightmares of the Vale. We must cooperate.
Your pathetic lies will only tighten the noose around your neck. Another word, and I'll take your other
I
eye.
love the hunters.
Now walk,
Like,
prisoner.
Yeah.
Let's go.
The big trap on the back.
Yeah, that's
great.
right on the back. Just kidding.
Whoa!
There we go.
Yep.
No death run, stays intact. The Age of Darkness team has yet to die during the campaign. Can't quite say that for the survival runs we've done, but the campaign is still deathless.
That's it. That's it.
Amazing. So I guess we'll start to wrap up there. But is there any final words that you guys want to throw down? Any final thoughts you want to? Oh, we can watch this. Sorry.
Yeah, let's
wrap
watch
up.
this.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah, watch this.
Yeah, Cyrus baby. And Aelys.
How they love you, my queen.
They love a good hanging, Cyrus. Any show of rebellion strength. Who are these captives?
Yeah.
A band of deserters from the north. And a knight of the Order.
You, Knight. You let the Iron Talon fester like an open wound as they spread into my lands. The Order's negligence is as criminal as those they pursue. Perhaps I'll send your head back to your bishop with my regards.
No, it can't be. Aelys? After Aaron's Crossing, I was told you were dead.
Edwin Everett. From Royal Guard to betrayer of the realm. You're as lax in your duties to the people as you were to my family. To think I once admired you. I have my own admirers now. Allow me to demonstrate what true loyalty looks like. Before you stands a failed knight of the Order. No better than the Aldrin throne, squeezing the life out of the commoner. They have failed us! I will not fail you. Soon we shall march on the Aldrin capital and take the throne they stole from my family!
Yeah, baby, rebellion arise.
Aelys, the Aldrin are nothing compared to what lurks on the horizon. The nightmares
The
are...
Aldrin are the nightmare, and your order is complicit. You may not create the laws, but you enforce them like obedient mutts while our people suffer.
Please, Aelys, if we don't...
Enough! Cyrus, ready your soldiers.
At once, my queen.
The Aldrin throne's greed will be their undoing. We'll cut their purse strings and watch the throne collapse. We will crush them and give back to the people what is theirs.
And what of the knight?
Keep him alive. For now. As for the rest...
And Edwin dies.
End of game.
Yeah.
I love that cutscene.
It's cool. So cool.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. What a cutscene indeed. Thank you so much, Lewis, for playing so effortlessly and crushing it. We'll be back. Thank you so much, Chris, for giving us so many incredible insights about the audio and the sound recording. Very, very fascinating.
Very welcome.
I feel much more connected to these characters in the campaign holistically. Getting those insights. Yeah, we will be back next week, continuing the campaign. With one of the people that sort of Derek, who's a primary factor behind these cutscenes, as well as Amzo, who's one of the game designers, giving you guys some different insights. But yeah, until then, we will see everyone later.